If you're anything like me, you might have noticed a particular line the first time you listened to Kendrick Lamar's King Kunta. The song is a funky, braggadocious rap that has Kendrick laying claim to hip-hop's throne, and then suddenly...
When you got the yams, what's the yams? The yam is the power that beat.
So why is Kendrick bringing up starchy vegetables in the middle of this cocky rap? Well, it turns out we can learn a lot about Kendrick Lamar and his 2015 album To Pimp a Butterfly by digging into this question. To Pimp a Butterfly was one of the most exciting, provocative records of its time. Throughout the album, Kendrick taps into a long history of African American art to explore the modern Black identity. Look at the first lines of the 7th track on the album, All Right.
All's my life I has to fight, nigga.
This line is a direct reference to a speech in Alice Walker's novel, The Color Purple.
All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy, I had to fight my uncles, I had to fight my brothers. Girl, child ain't safe in the family names.
This reference frames Kendrick's discussion of the struggles in his life, many of which come directly from his blackness, a concept that Alice Walker explores in depth in The Color Purple. Kendrick uses these references to contextualize his own lyrics throughout the entire album. Track 13, The Blacker the Berry, is named after a 1928 novel by Wallace Thurman. Thurman's novel tells the story of a dark-skinned black woman who experiences discrimination from her lighter-skinned black peers. Kendrick takes on this exact same kind of discrimination in The Blacker the Berry, talking about his own relationship with his skin tone, as well as that of other people that he knows. Kendrick's interests line up well with Thurman's on a philosophical level. Unlike some of his contemporaries, Thurman didn't want to pander to a white audience, but instead celebrate and criticize black communities, which included taking on issues like skin tone discrimination. Kendrick uses this same approach on To Pimp a Butterfly. It's not pandering to white audiences, it's a celebration of what it is to be black. All of this brings us back where we started, King Kunta.
I got a bone to pick. I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again.
King Kunta was the best-selling and top-charting song from To Pimp a Butterfly, but that doesn't mean that it's not a literate track. The song frequently references Kunta Kinte, a character featured in Alex Haley's 1976 opus, Roots, the saga of an American family. Kunta Kinte is a slave on a Virginia plantation. After 4 unsuccessful escape attempts, Kunta Kinte gets his feet cut off, something that Kendrick references right here.
King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta.
When he says that he's King Kunta, Kendrick is saying that he is both a king and a slave. Even though Kendrick is rich, famous, and successful, he's still a black man in America. One of the biggest artists in the world still struggles with racism and understanding his own identity, something that drives the album. And this is where the Yams fit in. The Yams are one of the most powerful references in the entire album and a perfect example of Kendrick's wordplay. They refer to 2 different pieces of literature and then also throw in a sexual euphemism to boot. The Yams are an important symbol in Ralph Ellison's 1952 novel, Invisible Man. The novel is once again an exploration of the Black American identity, and in it, yams are used to represent African heritage, the character's roots and authenticity. When the narrator eats yams, he feels like he's being true to his heritage, and then he no longer cares what people think of him. So in this sense, the yams refer to Kendrick's own black pride and authenticity, a concept that has always been important in the rap community. But the Yams aren't just authenticity. They can also be representative of fame, wealth, and power. Chinua Achebe uses Yams in his novel, Things Fall Apart. The book explores the pre- and post-colonial lives of Nigeria's Igbo people. Yams are one of the most important crops in Igbo society, so in Achebe's novel, they represent wealth, influence, and social status. Or, as Kendrick would put it,
the yam is the power that be.
But power isn't all good, as Kendrick goes on to warn in the next verse.
The yam brought it out of Richard Pryor. Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires.
Fame was a struggle for comedian Richard Pryor, who fought addiction and depression his entire career, which eventually even culminated in a suicide attempt. As for Clinton, Kendrick posits that power led him to temptation and corruption, which eventually ended up with the Monica Lewinsky Oval Office scandal. The Clinton line is also a double entendre, as yams can of course be slang for a woman's legs. So the yams are sex, power, fame, money, and authenticity, all tied up into one brilliant line. To Pimp a Butterfly is a masterful album that documents just what it is to be black and famous in modern America. And Kendrick is only able to do so thanks to the rich history of African American literature that came before him. As Kendrick's career progresses, it's becoming more and more clear that he's not just a great rapper, but he is the next step in a long and rich tradition of Black American literature.